Hi, my name is Josh Aronson. I'm a world Jewish reporter for my Arab newspaper and other publications. I'm sitting with Rabbi Avigdor Nosikov. Rabbi, who are you?
I can answer a few hours about this question, but if I'll use just one line, and the high title I'll use also in my social media, is a rabbi who moved from Russia and took his life to Germany.
What has changed in Russia?
Russia has changed. I used to live there and to work there for 12 years, and it wasn't the biggest democracy or the best place to have freedom, but it was still possible and pretty easy to work, to live, to make Jewish communities. It was running very well. The changes that appeared there during the weeks after the war was so rapid and so fast and so bad that I understood I have no place for myself anymore there.
What's happening in Russia today?
I cannot say what's happening today because I don't live there. I just using the same sources all of us using, and we cannot believe 100% to the information they deliver us. However, Russia is a place, I believe it's not a safe place anymore. I left Russia together with Rabbi Goldschmidt 2 weeks after the war started, and many people asked us if it was right to leave our communities. Few colleagues stayed behind and they believe they should stay with their community. However, I'm sure that we do have to give a sign to the people in our communities, the Jewish people in Russia, that it's so important now to live and to relocate yourself to a safer, to a free place, to a safe place, that we had to give this sign. You know, the famous story when the Jewish nation got the permission to build the second temple, and Ezra, the prophet, called everyone to come with him from Babylon to Israel. Not everyone came, but he left with the few thousand that came with him, left many behind. Everyone makes his choice.
Where do you see the future of Jewish people in Russia?
It's difficult to predict. At the moment, there is no direct threat, especially on the Jewish population, but there is a threat on every Russian citizen due to the laws that the government runs now, and due to the inability to think freely, to act freely. As long as you going with the government's mainline ideology and values, you may be safe, but you may be sent to the war or restricted other issues. As long as you don't do it, you don't following the right ideology and the proper thoughts, you are in some kind of danger. We get any week ridiculous reports about court decision in Russia that put people in jail without witnesses, without proof, just to putting some like in Facebook, Instagram, or other social networks. So it's dangerous to be there as people. I hope that the Russian government will not use the so-called Jewish issue to blame someone. It can happen, it can not happen, we don't know. But it's risky because nothing keeps your rights there at the moment.
If you're talking about rights, social media is banned in Russia. Do you think that that affects the followers of your community, the Jewish community as a whole?
Look, first of all, most of the people who are really interested in social media, they know how to avoid those bans through VPN servers and many other ways. So basically, the one who wants gets the access. But yes, the access became more limited, it's more complicated, it's not available for people who are governmental workers or connected in some way with the government. So definitely people getting less information, also through the sources I use to deliver information and content.
I was recently at an event and a Russian expert said to me that Russia is very close to becoming a proxy to Iran. What do you feel about that?
I don't believe, I'm not expert in politics. I don't believe we can compare Russia to Iran because Russia cannot become a proxy to Iran, maybe both becoming a proxy for China. But however, but they are sharing some common values and targets, and they may cooperate closer and deeper than we want in Israel and in the West.
Talking about bringing targeted closer, I mean, Putin himself has hosted several times delegations from Hamas. He hasn't hosted delegations from Israel. What is your feeling as someone in the Jewish community and someone that worked very closely in Russia?
So he actually, Putin and his government had, at least before the last year, before the 7th of October, pretty good cooperation with Israel, and many prime ministers, Netanyahu and Bennett, all of them visited Putin many times, and he was in Israel a few times. About Hamas, Russia actually goes on the same path that the Soviet Union went, that there was at least in the same relation with Israel, like with the Israeli enemies, like neutral. And it was their policy from the beginning, from the 60s or the 50s, so nothing changed. Ukraine also voted usually against Israel, and now they change this policy because Israel asked. But their policy was not because they hated especially Israel, just because they went on the same path that diplomats learned in the Soviet diplomatic school. So it's nothing unusual. If they will support Israel, will not support Hamas, it will be a surprise. Now it's not a surprise, just the same policy all the years.
Now, you started off in Russia, and now you're the rabbi in Dortmund, which there's a major difference between Russian Jewry and German Jewry. How are you finding that change?
I was very sorry to leave my community in Russia. More than 12 years together, we became a family. And it's difficult to leave a family, even if you do it for the right thing, for the proper target. However, afterwards, after it happens, I'm happy that I did this step because the Jewish life in Russia are quite different. I think the biggest difference, there is a joke. We ask why people in Germany go sleep early. You know why, Joshua?
Why?
Because in the dream, it's not so boring like in Germany. So therefore, much more people coming to the community, much more students. In Russia, my competition about the students, about the youth, about the young professionals wasn't with the church or with the mosque, because we're not in the Middle Ages when we fight about religion. The competition was with nightclubs, with some cultural programs, theaters, parties, and whatever. So in Germany, we have much less of all this entertainment, so much more people, bigger percent from the Jewish population is in the communities, is involved in the community life. And I think this is a huge game changer compared to Russia.
And talk to me about the fight against anti-Semitism.
Oh, it's a fight that we're holding 3,700 years, I believe, since Mount Sinai. You know, like Talmud says, why named Sinai from the Hebrew word sin'ah. The hate came to the word at this moment. So it's nothing unusual. Now people are more considered after the 7th of October because there were many publications and some activity against Israel, against Zionism, and we all know it's just the new politically correct cover for anti-Semitism in the way that it's allowed in democratic countries. However, I personally don't feel that something in the streets became worse. So from time to time, when I do go with the kippah in the cities, I can hear some like Free Palestine or something. Okay, I heard it before, nothing changed. I don't see it. There is definitely more concerns. There is more negative information about Israel and Jews in social media. That's a fact. I hope we as communities, we have to hear two things we should handle. One is the fear in the communities. It's our biggest enemy because even nothing happens, if people have fear, they're less visiting, they're less coming, they're less participating. And the second one, the facts that sometimes anti-Semitic acts do take place. Here we more need to report and to keep the authorities and the organization that fight against it informed, and I think let to the government do the job. However, the public relation, it's still on everyone. Every Jew is an ambassador in his environment to deliver our ideas.
And where do you see the future of your community?
You know, I already learned that it's a bad idea. It's a never win-win game to make a prophecy. I hope we will grow in quality and in quantity until Mashiach comes and takes us to Israel to build the temple. As for now, me and my colleagues, the community leaders, are doing our best to give the best infrastructure and proper relation to give the Jewish community, the people, the Jews of our city, feel in the synagogue, in the community facilities like in home, feel welcomed, and get their needs, spiritual and all other kind of needs, in and with the cooperation in the community. I hope it will attract more and more people. We did saw a big flow of Israelis that went to Germany after the 7th of October, and also other Jews, because people understood we need to be united more than before. So unfortunately, I have to say, from my 14 plus years of experience, that basically more often people coming back to Jewish life, making steps towards their Jewish identity when something tragic happens. I wish all of us and Am Israel to have happy reasons to make their step towards the Jewish nation, their community.
And finally, can you tell me the fear, the job of a rabbi? Do you think it is also to educate the non-Jewish people of the communities, of the different environments around you, to know about Judaism? Do you think that will fight anti-Semitism and the knowledge?
In some basic level, yes. Because most of the hate to a Jew or to the Jews, it's to some fantastic figure that called the Jew or the Jews. Most of the people who really have some hate or fear or combination of them from the Jews never met one. As long as we making our efforts to break the ice and to show a person, here, look at me, I'm a Jew, I have family like you have, I eat food, I go with my feet, and I look with eyes, and I don't have a horn on my head, and I don't eat blood of Christian children. I just have my own tradition, but I'm a person like you. They basically replace this imaginational figure of the Jew with you. And you actually look like a normal guy. Yes, you're with the kippah with some strange white strings on your pants, but you look like a normal guy. And of course, it may affect on many people, at least to be more neutral. And they will probably give some part of this influence to their environment. So in some basic, on some basic level, some introduction, yes, I think it's a mission, but not only of the rabbi, but any Jewish activist, actually any Jew, on his work, his, circle of his friends, in some company that he spends time. As long as he makes Kiddush Hashem, makes God's names holy. What does it mean? That you represent Judaism and you make good impression. It's important mission, and it's the mission of all of us, not just the rabbis.
So, Rabbi Nosikov, thank you very, very much for your time. You said from Russia to Germany, but I have to add, from Russia to Germany, making a difference to Jewish life. Thank you.
Thank you, Joshua. It was a pleasure.